Good morning, America. Topic for the day. I hope everyone's well. Rate of change. ROC. The mathematical symbol for it is delta. Delta is just change, though. So you need to add something on there to specify a rate, how quickly something is changing. I learned a lot about this inside of industrial controls systems that would look at something changing and make adjustments based on how quickly that something was changing, because things can blow up, things can burn down, things can get destroyed, people can get hurt in a large chemical facility, for instance. So this was a rate of change thing, and for us it was multiple computers talking across a network, giving direct feedback to another computer, saying, close this valve, please. And the other computer could evaluate that and move a valve to make a process change, or move all the valves and shut the whole process down. Shut it down sequentially over a 10 or 15 minute period so other things don't get damaged or blown up and the process can start back up. So that rate of change concept is an AI thing. This was something people did, looking at computer screens, looking at strip charts on a wall. This is how old nuclear plants were run. Rate of change stuff, it's so critical. But you notice it from a temperature measurement or a gas chromatograph measurement a quarter mile downstream from wherever that first incident happened. So you go looking for it. This was a person looking for it, became a computer looking for it. That technology, that thought, replaced hundreds of workers in a chemical facility by going to intelligent automation, and it made some of these materials that are new to everybody, some of these materials that cause cancer, some of these materials that bring water to your house. And those two shouldn't mix. They're two different things, because engineers using the sciences. So this rate of change idea, where else does it come into play that everyone is becoming aware of? You can't avoid it. This is the climate conversation. If you go back and find a long-term temperature chart for the planet, and you understand how these measurements, very precise, methodical measurements, are taken, and even if they were taken 100 years ago and are off, incorrect, we can correct for some of those things to get a better idea of what temperature was actually like. Because it's tough, because people didn't speak the same language across the planet. But science, chemistry, chemical analysis of something called isotopes, or even just molecular ratios of certain elements. We learned about this. Education. People studied these facets of the sciences and became engineers and applied them. They learned how to drill oil wells, where to drill oil wells most effectively. And new instrumentation and measurements help pick out where that is. Anyway, back to the climate. You're looking for a long-term temperature scale of the planet. Now, who decided how the planet gets measured? There's a conversation, a story, an education, a paper trail, or now it's a computer trail of the information that we built upon over lifetimes and generations to put what we've got today together. Big jigsaw puzzle. only it's not quite a puzzle, because it changes as you put the pieces together, right? Because time, change over time, that concept. So looking at that temperature scale, looking at that graph, trying to understand how the data, and you can see the debate within the sciences, probably done by engineers, about why these measurements are off, totally wrong, or we trust them. These are conversations about very specific types of instrument analysis, chemical analysis, that we have learned how to do since long before books were written and people learned how to write, working with metals and metallurgy. So that temperature change that is so much in the conversation, that temperature change that is driving some of the extreme weathers that we're having across the globe. It's not just us. No one's picking on us. Is a rate of change study. So if you go look at the graph, the climate was changing long before man could have any influence on it, because that's what it does. These are long, slow, cyclical changes having to do with spinning around a sun, riding through a galaxy in a universe we've yet to understand. Is it big? It's as big as you can make it. So this rate of change idea, this rate of change analysis, and what understanding it can give us is important. If you look at the graph, there's a sudden slope change that physically coincides with the materials that humans are releasing into the environment on a planet that is, in most conversations, a closed system. Only it's not closed because the sun's out there. So they're not simple equations. That's why we guess at hurricanes still and where they're going. And are we getting better? We couldn't do this long ago. We didn't have the communications networks to tell the neighbor, hey, a hurricane's coming. So, studying that climate change thing, it has become from a debate and a conversation into a fact that humans, plastics, humans' fossil fuel use is doing changing the atmosphere, affecting the atmosphere. And to prove that change, people have gone back and looked at other types of releases, pollution, studied on macro scales that cover our planet, the one we ride on. Scary big place. So this is why people can speak to climate change with a lot of understanding, with a lot of passion, especially the people that are in the middle of it. Should it be challenged? Should it be questioned? What should be challenged and questioned now is the industries, the global industries. I'm going to say fossil fuel companies, but these aren't fuel, they're fuels for all of industry. Only 40% of fossil fuel goes to making energy. The other is mineral extraction from those materials that we make plastics out of. So, and oils and all the other things that you consider, but that the plastics is almost 60% of our fossil fuel consumption. Is there a place for solar? Yes. Is there a place for windmills? Yes. Is there more work to be done? Yes. But we have money interest playing with our politics. One candidate, I don't know what he's talking about. I gave up long ago trying to follow what that man is talking about because it's not coherent. I have my moments, but I earned this gray. So, hey, peace out. Hi to all. I always thought we can do better, and that will drive you crazy if that's your philosophy in life. But we can, so enjoy.